Hello, welcome to another edition of Sports Cruise here on the Our Media channel, where today we'll be looking at AC Milan and how they celebrated Mother's Day because they did it in some grand style after the players were forced to just print the names of their moms at the back of their jerseys in their thumping victory over the weekend in the Serie A. But then over to Old Trafford, where it's Manchester United that is recording their heaviest or worst season in the Premier League in over 4 decades. But then it's not just the bad performances on the pitch, but then also the bad construction works that was done at the Old Trafford, where they experienced some huge leakage during their game against Arsenal, in which they lost. But then also Real Madrid, they have had their trophy parade with their 36th La Liga title. This is a minimum we have for you on this edition of Sports Cruise on the Our Media channel. My name is Josiah. All right, so let's start off with the AC Milan team and how they celebrated Mother's Day over the weekend after the AC Milan players put the names of their moms at the back of their jerseys to celebrate Mother's Day in their game against Cagliari. It was a thumping victory for AC Milan, but then the players took the opportunity to celebrate their wonderful moms during that game, where they printed the names of their mothers respectively at the back of their jerseys. And oh my God! And there you can see it beautifully printed, the names of the mothers of these players respectively printed at the back of their jerseys. And what a way that was to commemorate Mother's Day in 2024. Clap for her! To our next story, it's Real Madrid that held their trophy parade after being crowned champions of La Liga for the 36th time, and you could see the team performing their rituals beside the Seabell's goddess. Oh boy! But then during the parade, it was Carlo Ancelotti who was speaking some Spanish. Jude Bellingham also speaking to the fans in Spanish for the first time. Never heard the English international speaking Spanish. Clapa, clapa. But then also Antonio Rudiger was seen on the street in a car jubilating with their fans, and these are videos from Real Madrid. And let's take a look at the view of the new Santiago Bernabeu stadium, which means Madrid are not only winning trophies on the pitch, but then off the pitch they are doing some progressive work with regards to facility and their edifice. And you can see inspection ongoing in the newly built tunnel at the Santiago Bernabeu. What a marvelous work being done for Team Real Madrid. They also have the Champions League finale to play against German Bundesliga side Borussia Dortmund on the 1st of June. And that means that they keep on winning, not just on the field, but then off the field, Real Madrid. All right, to our next story, it's Manchester United, where their worst season continues because they lost over the weekend to Arsenal in the Premier League after Leandro Trossard scored for Arsenal. But then for Manchester United, that means that they have recorded their most losses in a single season in over 46 years. Hey! And also the most goals conceded in a season in over 53 years. Hey! I know! Which doesn't really look good for Manchester United. But then you could be asking if it's actually a spiritual thing that is causing the club to keep on sinking, or you just say they are just not having a good coach, or the players are just worse than we all imagine. What is that? Because Manchester United are currently out of European places on the league table, and it means that they could end up finishing below Chelsea, who many thought were having the worst season in their history. But then it's not just the worst performances on the pitch, but then also it is with their stadium, the Old Trafford, which is set to undergo some renovation works later on with a date set to be announced. But then during that game against Arsenal, there were heavy rains, and in that video you can see there was some huge leakage at the Old Trafford which caused many of the stands to be abandoned by fans because they were filled with water, which is very, very embarrassing for a club as huge as Manchester United. So the embarrassment continues for Manchester United, not just on the pitch, but then off the pitch too. It just doesn't look good, and this is totally embarrassing for them.
You're a disgrace about the whole town.
So to our final story of the day, it's City Football Group Limited that finds itself in the crossroads because they have two of their teams, English Premier League side Manchester City and Spanish La Liga side, that's Girona, both qualifying for the UEFA Champions League in the 2024-2025 season. But UEFA has stated clearly that both Girona and Man City both can't play in the UCL or the UEFA Champions League due to the UEFA rules.
What is that?
And the rules, according to UEFA competition, says that should two clubs from the same ownership group qualify for the same UEFA competition, the side which finishes highest in its domestic championship gets the place.
There is trouble in paradise.
So it means that because Girona and also Manchester City all belong to the City Football Group Limited, and both are set to qualify for next season's UEFA Champions League, then it means that just one of them can end up playing, and that's by virtue of the fact that the team that qualifies in the highest position and also with the most points would end up playing in the UEFA Champions League. And that means that it's obviously Manchester City who could end up qualifying for next season's UEFA Champions League as the representative of the City Football Group Limited. For Girona, they've had a stellar season where they ended up doing the double over Barcelona, but then per the rules, it means that their players won't be able to taste Champions League football next season, despite the hard work they put in. And it's going to be Manchester City taking the place because they both belong to the same owner. So interesting stories we brought your way today on this edition of Sports Cruise here on the Our Media channel, your favorite sports podcast show on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, Our Media Group on YouTube, but then also you can like and comment on what has been happening. AC Milan players celebrating Mother's Day in grand style. Manchester United losing to Arsenal and huge leakage at the Old Trafford. But for Real Madrid, they were celebrating the streets of Madrid after clinching their 36th La Liga title. This is where we call it a wrap. My name is Joseph. See you again in the next edition. Bye.